Well, we have the Socceroos scuff on today because we, out of nowhere, have the squad announcement for the upcoming crucial World Cup qualifiers for Australia, the Intercontinental Playoffs. We simply have to win if we want to make the World Cup this year. And the squad news has dropped on the morning of the A-League Grand Final. So what a way to start the day. Let's jump into the squad right now. Graham Arnold has made some pretty big calls. First of all, when it comes to the goalkeepers, he's sticking with Andrew Redmayne over Mark Birighitti, which is quite the first quite interesting one for me. I mean, Mark Birighitti, who has yet again had a superb season for the Central Coast Mariners. So many people calling for him to get the Socceroos call up. Redmayne has got the pick again. We do see the likes of Matt Ryan and Danny Vukovic there, which are no surprise. But when you look at the campaigns of Andrew Redmayne and Mark Birighitti, even the last couple years, I don't know anyone who would say that Redmayne as in terms of individual performance, has had a better last couple of seasons than Mark Birighitti. Some of the saves that Mark Birighitti has made over the last couple of years, he's literally won games for Central Coast Mariners, and he was voted A-League Goalkeeper of the Year. I think he was in the PFA Team of the Year. It was all set up for Mark Birighitti to get his Socceroos call-up, so look, it's just really quite incredible. But again, I guess it's not too surprising because we know that Graham Arnold likes to pick his favourites. He likes to stick with the same players that he knows and loves. So Andrew Redmayne in there once again for the Socceroos. So disappointed for Beerus there. Let's jump into the defenders. We've got Natty Atkinson as his Bayic. Jason Davidson, the Melbourne Victory left back, called up into the Socceroos squad. I'm a fan of this call-up. I think he's had a superb season for Melbourne Victory this year, Jason Davidson, and has experience playing for Australia in the past. Milos Degenek, Frank Karacic, we've got Joel King, Kai Rolls, the two youngsters there, Trent Sainsbury, and Bailey Wright. Bailey Wright's back in the squad after having a decent season for Sunderland after they got promotion back into the second division of English football. So, look, that's a decent backline for me. I mean, when you look at some of the options there, there's plenty of choice. You imagine Frank Karacic would probably get the nod at right back. So no Ryan Grant, which is an interesting one. But overall, I'm pretty happy with that defense, man. When we look at the midfielders, though, I'm even more excited. Pardon me. We've got some big names returning in midfield. So we've got Kenny Dougal there, Denny Jonro, Aiden Hrustic, Jackson Irvine, Riley McGree, Aaron Moyes back, Tom Rogic, and Gianni Stensness. I mean, for me, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit later in the video, but I look at Aaron Moy, I look at Jackson Irvine, Tom Rogic. I mean, those are the three midfielders for me who I think are our three top-performing midfielders. And then on top of that, I mean, Aiden Hrustic can slot in there as well, even if he plays out wide, maybe. And then the excitement, the youth, that the flair that the likes of Denny Jonro, Gianni Stensness, Riley McGree bring. I mean, really, really exciting, knowing that we've got a decent starting. I think when you look across the squad, there's a good starting lineup, and then there's a solid impact off the bench. There's a decent enough impact coming off the bench, which is exciting. So nothing too surprising there when it comes to midfielders, but forwards, again, some interesting calls here. And actually, I'll start off with this one. No Jason Cummings. And look, just the way he performed, especially towards the back end of the season, it almost seemed certain that he was going to get picked. And again, another one of those ones where people were calling for him to get picked. And look, I know it may seem that I'm being biased harping on about it, Mark Birighitti and Jason Cummings, because they're both Mariners players, being a Mariners fan myself. But unequivocally, across the league, I saw fans from all clubs, across the Australian football scene, calling for the likes of Mark Birighitti, Jason Cummings to be called into the squad, and absolutely could have slotted in. But there is no room for him. So Martin Boyle's been picked, Nick D'Agostino, once again. Mitch Duke is there, Craig Goodwin, Matt Leckie, Awa Mabil, Jamie McLaren, Adam Taggart, and Marco Tilio. So, I mean, the strikers that you look maybe got the nod ahead of Cummings. I mean, if you just talk about A-League, Nick D'Agostino. I mean, what do you guys make of that one? That's what I want to hear. What do you guys make of the call of picking Nick D'Agostino ahead of Jason Cummings? Has Nick D'Agostino had a better... Do you think Nick D'Agostino will have a better impact in these games over Jason Cummings? Maybe. But aside from that, I mean, Adam Taggart, excited to see what he can do back in the squad. I know looking back at his stats that he hasn't necessarily been the most prolific of strikers in recent times. So interested to see what he can do as well. So look, we have to trust Graham Arnold just to know what he's doing, going for this striker selection. But look, there's plenty of options up there in attack. What I did want to look at, which I thought was quite interesting, is comparing this squad to the squad that was picked just a couple months ago. Of course, this is the one here. This is the March 2022 squad. Of course, there were some injuries involved. But yeah, of course, you got to know Adam Taggart there as well. Of course, we had some key players like Aaron Moy missing out in injury. So no Ryan Grant picked in the squad as well. So look, that way you can sort of see the comparison between the two squads. So that's the March 2022 squad, and this is the new squad as well. So you can see that forward line is absolutely stacked. So look, overall, I'm pretty happy with the squad. I am quite happy with the squad. I think there's a couple questionable selections here and there. But for me, I'm excited to see what this squad can do. And to finish off here, I'm going to jump into my preferred starting 11 that I'd like to see for these crucial World Cup qualifiers. Well, it could just be the one World Cup qualifier if we don't win that one. But Matty Ryan, of course, in goals. I think Fran Karacic a right back. We do have Joel King and Atkinson, the youngsters who can slot into the fullback positions. I've gone for Karacic and Davidson on the left. I think the experience of Davidson, just throw him in there. Deganek Sainsbury at centre back, I think, is pretty self-explanatory. Moy and Irvine, I mentioned it earlier in the video. I think those are the two that have to be starting in the 6 positions for me. Two experienced players. Tom Rogic in the 10 position. If any player is locked into starting, it's Tom Rogic. I mean, he has to be starting. I'm a massive Aiden Hrustic fan. I think Hrustic is fantastic, and I was toying with the possibility of him playing as one of those 6s or even out on the right, but I wanted to stick with, as you can see, the pace of Martin Boyle and Awan Mobile out wide. I think they'll have, the danger that they possess getting in behind. I think they need to be starting. It's a bit of a different system if Aiden Hrustic starts in one of those wide positions. You know what I mean? And Jamie McLaren. I mean, he always finds a way to end up in the right place, right times to tap in the goal. So I've put Jamie McLaren up top. But again, they've got options, Tilio, D'Agostino, Taggart now. There's plenty of customization you can make in there. So, overall, guys, let me know, what did you make of this Socceroos squad? Are you happy with it? Who were some players that you thought should have made it? Who were some players in there that you think maybe shouldn't be in there? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you have enjoyed this video and you want to show your support, make sure you hit the like button. I appreciate it so much. My name's Lockie. This is Coast Sport Football. Go the Socceroos.